Hi everybody. I wanted to make a really quick video that just goes over what to do and where to find it for this first week of work, first week of like actual work. It seems like most of you have successfully created accounts in Manifold, which you'll need in order to be able to complete your annotation assignment for this semester. So I'll go over that really quickly, but I just kind of wanted to give you a sense of what it is you have to do and how the annotations are going to work. So to do your work for this week, you're going to log into Brightspace. You're going to go to our course site and go to content. If you haven't yet, for some reason, created your annotation, your account with Manifold yet and joined our reading group, go ahead and go into the Course Reader Manifold info page, click on Course Reader on Manifold information, and you're going to see this Course Reading Group page link. Now you can't click on that until you've created an account. So the first thing you're going to do is not click there, but rather go to cuny.manifoldapp.org, and there will be a picture of an avatar here. You're going to click on it, and there'll be a button down here that says it says sign in, but there'll also be a place that says create an account. So you'll go through the steps of creating an account and then go back to our course site and click on the course reading group page. And that'll bring you to our reading group page. All right. So once you have your account, you will be ready to do the work for this week. So go to the weekly folders and click on week 2. So on week 2, we're reading Brooklyn Fairy by Walt Whitman. You can see what the weekly goals are. You're going to get introduced to reading poetry. You're going to read poetry and prose by Walt Whitman. You're going to practice analyzing poetry by annotating the course text. And your graded assignments, so these are the 2 things that I'll grade you on this week, are going to be that you do at least 5 annotations in the reader and reply to at least 2 of your classmates. Now these annotations can either be replies to my posts or they can be your own posts, your own annotations. So it can either be replies to my annotations or your own annotations. And then you're going to do an annotations reflection discussion board. All right. So that's an overview. Then here under how to complete this unit, there's step by step. So you're going to watch the mini lectures, you're going to read and annotate the Whitman chapters, and you're going to write an annotation reflection. Oh, so you can either go, you can advance also by clicking the little arrow, which I'll show you in a minute. So next thing you're going to do is go to the watch the mini lectures. So this video that I'm making will be here as well. You have a bunch of videos to watch this week. Most weeks you'll only have 2. Most weeks it's 2, but this week you have a bunch. So there'll be this video that's like walking you through the week. Then there's a how and why we annotate texts. There's an introduction to reading poetry, and then there's a Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. It's important you watch all of these videos. Each one is about 10 minutes, so plan your time accordingly. Okay, so the next thing is to go to the reading group. So the first thing, if this link does not work, and so I just pressed the advance button on that last page, but it's because it's this reading link. So here's the instructions. If that link doesn't work, it's probably because you're not logged in. Go to cuny.manifoldapp.org, log in, and then try the link again. This is our reading group page. So here's instructions for your annotation assignments. And then here are the texts. So the first unit is the poetry readings. You're going to go into the poetry readings and we're doing the Whitman. So there's 2 pages. There's Whitman on Democracy. So these are 2 excerpts. And then there's Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. So these places where you see light blue underlines, those are places where I have left an annotation. So if you click on that, it'll open up and you'll see my annotation and you can reply by clicking reply. Or you can leave your own annotations by highlighting text and clicking annotate. Make sure, see here how it says my public annotation. We don't want that. You're not going to get a grade if you leave it in public. You will only get a grade if you leave it in the English 111 SP 25 reading group. So make sure when you highlight text that that's what's showing up here, English 111 SP25. If not, you can change it. If it's right, you can just click annotate, you write in your text, you can check again and change the reading group here, and then you click save. Make sure that you're not highlighting like a huge amount of text because what happens then is that the whole thing becomes an annotation and it becomes really hard to differentiate the different annotations. So if you want to leave in like just highlight, you know, a few words or a word and leave your annotation that way. Another thing to note is that if you see a little box like that, that means that I've added a resource. And if you click on this box, here is a video of a bunch of different people that was created by Brooklyn Library who are reading Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. So if you click on this, you can listen to people reading Brooklyn Ferry, Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, if you'd like to hear it as opposed to read it or in addition to reading it. I think it's
Flood tide below me. I see you face to face.
a really beautiful way to experience the poem, especially because it meshes nicely with the subject matter. And I'll be excited to hear what you think about that. So this is where you're going to do your annotations. When you're done, you'll go back to our page, our course site, and you can click forward. And the last thing that you're going to do for week 2 is the annotation reflection discussion board. So what this is asking you to do is reflect on the discussion that happens in the annotations. So I'm thinking about the discussion in the annotations as a replacement for in-class discussion. And in in-class discussion, you hear what people say, and you think about it, and you form your own opinions around what they're saying. I'm asking you to do that in this activity. And part of it is because I know that as a person who was a college student, if I was required to leave 5 annotations, I would go in, leave the annotations, and I wouldn't read my classmates' posts. And that would make it so that you miss out on learning from your classmates' insights. So what I'm asking you to do is click through, read a bunch of the annotations. You can do that both by clicking, on a particular annotation and reading it. You can also do it through the reading group. So if you go to the reading groups page and you click on my reading groups, and then you click on our reading group, and you click here on this notes and comments section, you can actually scroll through and see all the comments collected right here as opposed to clicking through the poem. So that's another way you can read through. You don't have to read 100% of the comments, but read a bunch of comments, and then I want you to think about what sticks out for you from the discussion in the annotations to this week's reading as being important. Was there something, a question or a comment that was posed by me or a classmate in particular that helped you to understand the reading or understand the reading in a new light? Was there something you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way, or a part that was confusing to you until you read the annotation by someone? We'll be doing this assignment throughout the semester, and this part that does anything in this week's discussion remind you of previous material we've covered won't really relate, but maybe it relates to something in your life experience. And then also, what do you still have questions about? So you don't have to answer all of these questions, but these are some questions that can motivate what you have to write. So you should write about a paragraph, and my point, or what I'm looking for, is that you make reference to a specific annotation or to specific annotations, and then you explain the impact on your understanding. And that's it. Please do not use ChatGPT for this assignment. Write it yourself. You will get a 0 if I suspect that you've used ChatGPT. I just really want to hear your own thoughts. It's very low stakes. You get credit or no credit for having done it. So really give it some thought and just engage with each other, and then let me know what you think.